Um,
Yeah.
okay, so this is the gift for Christ behind the music bonus episode for One Note Too Many. Those of you who are not strangers to the podcast, you know who Kweku Boakye Frimpong is. If you do not know, for formality's sake, he is a prolific composer who comes from Ghana, and he has numerous works. He has done stuff with Stonebwoy. He has composed for the National Sym. He has composed with the. He has written music for the Accra Symphony Orchestra. I think you're the composer in residence, right, with the Accra Symphony Orchestra. And then there's
Accra Chamber Orchestra.
Chamber Orchestra, yes. And then
Yes.
he's also the music director of sorry, Afro Classical Nights, amongst other things. So today we'll be looking at one of his many wonderful stuff, which is the Gifts for Christ musical, Christmas musical, and the music behind it, which he wrote. So, Kweku, as usual,
Yeah.
thank you for agreeing to do this.
Yeah. Welcome.
You guys had so much fun yesterday. Me, I was even going crazy where I was seated. So thank you for that. Honestly, thank you for that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
Welcome.
amazing. Hey, did I start recording? Okay, I started. Yes. Yeah. So the episode will be divided into like three parts. The first part is the um overview on the Gift for Christ concept itself, just to bring people up to speed on what the concept, the whole idea of the thing was. Then there is the
Yeah.
prelude, and then the acts. That's the first and second act. So essentially, it's four parts to the entire
Mhm,
conversation. But yeah, so
mhm.
that's it. So to get right into it, the Gifts for Christ concept itself. When I heard about it this year, I went to check it out on the internet because I knew that I must have heard of this some years back because like I was like, there's no way this is an original, like it's not a pilot project. It has been done before, but not in this way. So I was like, Gift for
Mhm.
Christ is familiar. So I want to check out. So I went to check out, and it turns out that it's a concept the um the organization does every year, right? But they don't do it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted
Yeah.
to just ask, like first and foremost, how when did you get a call? Like when did you get an invitation from what's the name of the group? Is it Atrios? So I never know how to pronounce it. The guys who organize it. The
Okay. So that's Equitas Foundation.
Equitas. Oh God of mercy. Equitas.
Yes.
Yes. So when did
Yes.
you get the call like to write the music?
Okay. Actually, I've been involved in the organization of Gates for Christ since 2023, and um, in 2023, the first time we did it, it was, should I say, it was like a recital. Okay. But first of all, the organization that organizes Gates for Christ for Equitas Foundation, that was founded by Reverend Dr. Ikuya Ofori-Boateng. And the main idea for starting the foundation is so that they can help youth when it comes to employment, when it comes to management of their businesses, helping people to be entrepreneurs, helping people, to have good work ethics at the workplace. That's what Equitas Foundation does. So basically, just empowering the youth. That's what the foundation does. So actually, they started the Gates for Christ so that they can help raise funds for the foundation. So it happens that every year, and in fact, the first time it started, it was Grace Coral that used to be the musicians until later in 2023. Reverend Dr. By then she was Reverend Ike Ofori-Boateng.
Yeah.
She contacted Jesse, founder of Afro Classical Nights, and then
Yeah.
contacted I as well. That she wanted something similar as just as what goes on at Afro Classical Nights, but for Gifts for Christ. So this time around, she's not looking for a choir and then three keyboards and so on and so forth. She just wants something simple. She's a minimalist, just as I am a minimalist myself. So I decided to put four singers together, and then with a keyboard. And sorry, with a piano. The first one was a piano. So the first singers were Franklin Jima, Alberta Opata, Kelvin Ohundu, and then Kennedy, or Bariton Kennedy Dankwa. So the
This was
four
in
of them singers
2023,
with me.
right?
Yeah, 2023.
Okay.
Yes, with me as the pianist. And then we put repertoire together. And they were basically other people's compositions from Western or from European repertoire, from American, and then to even Ghanaian pieces. And then we did something similar like that in 2024. Yes. And for the 2024 one, we added a violinist to it. Yes.
Was it the one you did at the
Even before I
cathedral?
continue, sorry, the first time was in 22, actually, 2022, actually.
Yeah.
Yes. The 2023 one couldn't come on because it was postponed to the Easter period.
Right.
It
Did
happens
you,
that she got a new board of directors for the foundation, and then they preferred that it was done in April. So we did it in
okay.
2024, April. Yes.
Did you
Yes.
do any
Yeah.
was it the one you did last year with the whole angels we have heard on high or something? Oh, that was a different one as
No,
well.
that was Christmas at the cathedral. We did that one at the Holy Spirit Cathedral. That was
Oh,
different.
okay. Okay. So the venue
Yes.
for Gifts for Christ has always been at
Labadi
AIS.
Beach Hotel. No, it
Labadi
has
Beach
actually
Hotel.
been Labadi Beach Hotel.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So this and you know after the Christmas at the cathedral, I'd always planned by a way by which I can turn I can turn the nine lessons and carols into not just an oratorio, but into an opera. And lo
Yeah.
and behold, Reverend Dr. Ofori Boateng had the same thing in mind. And then she contacted me one day, and then she asked me to come to her office. And I told her that yes, I've always had this in mind. Like I wanted to do something different. And
Mm,
if there's a case, I'm all for it. So she actually sent and then also she asked that she would like to add a playwright to it so that we see the way forward. So actually that's how everything came together. Yeah.
right. So is then it makes wait, no, it still doesn't make sense how you wrote it in 11 days. You said you wrote it in 11 days, so
Yeah, let me say, yeah, by 11 days. Usually I prefer to
but
say 2 weeks.
in about 2 weeks, like you were trying to beat Handel's record for the Messiah, but we'll talk about that more because there there are a lot of influences from a lot of places in the music, and as we go, we'll get into it, especially the Handel, obviously, Bach, then you the Afrocentric elements as well, which is very, very native to you and your whole
Yeah.
thing, Afrocentrism. So it was beautiful to witness. So we get but the creative director, Reverend Ikea, right? The Reverend Dr. Ikea, did she
Yes.
have a lot of
Yes.
a lot of influence in the creative process itself? Like whilst you're writing, would you send some pieces to her to kind of get a feel of what she wanted or something like that?
Okay. For her, her only idea, or let me say, the only thing that she really wanted was the fact that she wanted there to be music that people can relate to. She didn't want a situation whereby everything is original, and by the time like somebody comes and the person can relate to the music. Although yes, of course, usually they can be original, but she felt there should still be uh some music that people can relate to. Like for instance, there was Tutu Bovi.
Yeah,
Every Ghanaian, whether you're aware or not, can relate to Tutu Bovi.
yeah.
So she was looking for something like that, and which I didn't have a problem with. I mean, basically, for she and I, when it comes to what she wanted, our thoughts were aligned.
On the
Just
same,
as I said,
yeah.
she's a minimalist. I'm a minimalist myself, so our thoughts were together. So, and
Charlie.
one thing I like about her, she generally doesn't interfere into people's work. She does what she says. This is what I want. So whatever you do, to achieve it. So I think when I was done with the prelude, I sent it to her. She fell in love with it, and I knew I was on track.
Right. So right on cue, let's talk about the prelude.
Yes.
This prelude, Jesus Christ. In all there are 18 songs. Is it 18 or 19 songs in the entire work?
So there are 20 songs actually.
There are 20 songs. But in the score, there are about 19 songs in the score, like in the script and score.
Yeah, so it is the numbering. So for instance, we have 8A and 8B, and then
Oh,
we
okay,
have
okay.
so you get it, yes.
Makes
And
sense.
interestingly, if you follow the numbering, there's no number 6.
Yeah, why is that? Why isn't there number 6?
iPhone did iPhone 8,
Are you
and then
serious
they
right
jumped
now?
to iPhone 8. Did you go question them why there's no iPhone 9? Or Windows 8? Windows did Windows 8. We went to
Ah,
8.1. They jumped over Windows 9 and then Windows 10. You go to
Masa,
ask.
was it a numbering error, or yeah, you're just trying to be clever, Masa? You forgot number 6. You jumped.
Yeah, so actually, it was a happy error. Later, when I found out, I'm like, "Yo, let me just leave it. It doesn't matter."
It doesn't really take anything away from it. But the prelude,
Yes.
do you agree on the definition of what differentiates and then the functions of like what an overture is and a prelude? Like an overture being what music before an operatic piece that sort of dictates the entire atmosphere of the entire piece. It has the themes and the motives that you see
Mhm.
in the entire piece. But a prelude is like an introduction to the work that comes immediately after it, right? So,
Yeah.
but with yours, you still have you have some themes, not like we'll come to the themes, but you have some things
Yes.
that sort of carry across inside, and it's in the prelude. So was it like a creative
Yes.
decision, or you just don't agree on that definition of what differentiates overture from prelude?
Okay. So for me, the differences between a prelude and overture to me, usually a prelude is used for um, works that, though they are large, they are not as extensive. You see, this one was just 1 hour 30 minutes. Okay, this opera was just 1 hour 30 minutes. But other operas are like 3 hours, 4 hours. And like you said, yes, it like the overture will cover everything from it from the beginning to the end. For me, the reason why I called mine a prelude was I felt it was too bold to call it an overture.
Oh,
Because usually even overtures are a bit longer. I think the shortest overture I've seen is the Messiah overture.
yeah, that's quite short, isn't it?
I don't know if you agree. Yeah, that's
But
quite because usually overtures are like 5 minutes, 6 minutes with like 4 or 3 movements.
Handel himself, he didn't
Yes.
really write a lot of long overtures. I think maybe Solomon is quite long, but he didn't really write a lot
Mm-hmm.
of long overtures. So I guess
Mm,
I guess that it's a thing. It's not like very strange. So
yeah.
the thought process in writing the overture, sorry, the prelude, right? Um,
Mm,
do you is it like something you do from start to finish? You start at one point. Let's say I'm writing the um Cora bit first, the entire Cora. Let's
mm,
even talk about the Cora for a bit, right? Why that choice
mm,
of instrument? The obvious answer is it's an African instrument, a West
yeah.
African instrument.
Mm,
But why not the Seprewa, right? The Seprewa
yeah.
is the Kora, but like for Ghanaians, right?
Yes. Yeah. Mm.
So
The Cora has a lot more. Okay, so with the separate, there are limitations. Okay, when it comes to the number of strings that can be used and the range. Okay, so that's why I preferred the Cora. But even we still use the separate. So for the some of the
okay.
pieces he used the Cora, and the other pieces he used the separate.
Also, he had the two instruments there. The
He
same
had the
person.
two instruments there.
Oh, I didn't
Yes.
notice. Okay. That's that's
Yeah.
that's crazy. He plays both the Kora and the Sephora.
Yeah.
So, but the thought process in
Yes.
writing it, did you think of the Kora the choral melody throughout, because the choral leads the prelude. It's like the leading thing
Yes.
in the prelude. So is
Mhm.
that where you started from?
Yes, that's basically where I started from. So, one thing I like about him, he reads music. So he basically played whatever I wrote for him. Although
Okay.
I told him that he can still add his flair, but he told me that he doesn't want to sway too much from him because what I've written for him is so nice.
Uh,
Yeah,
so he
yeah.
he stuck with it, and it was great. The
Yeah.
introduction of the high life section,
Mhm,
the high life
mhm.
section inside, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that process a little bit as well.
Mhm.
Was it something that came as a result of what story were you trying to tell with the prelude? Like in general, that's when
Okay.
you got to that point, you broke into the high life section.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, it's actually not high life. It's called the rhythm there is Techimankiti.
Okay, what's the difference?
Yes. So the high life, of course, you have the universal rhythm. Pa 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 pa. But this one, the rhythm for Techimankiti is pa 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 pa
Oh,
pa
okay,
pa. So that's why you hear the cowbell playing. Yes. Uh-huh.
okay.
So now this is my thought process. The creation story was not written into it by the playwrights.
Mm-hmm.
When after the prelude, the whole story starts from Adam and Eve in the garden. You get it. So I wanted to imitate, the creation story. So we know that, of course, before everything came to be, the universe was a silent place. There was
Yeah.
nothing. Okay. So the arrival of God to start his creation. That's what the Sephora was trying to, imitate. And
Mm-hmm.
don't forget that. Okay, I think we'll come to that later. But to me, God is a calm person. Yes, there are times where he's being wrathful and all that, but generally, God is a calm person. Okay, so that's why the choice of the Sephora or the Korah actually to play like bringing the whole thing in. So it's imitating the silence of the universe, how things are coming into being little by little, the stars being born, and then all that. Then later on, the strings join in.
Yeah.
But you see, there's a part whereby the strings start to play alone, and there's an atonal section.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Is it
I don't
the
know if you
the
noticed.
yes, the fugue part, right? The fugato part.
The few parts, yeah, the few parts. So
Why
that one is just
why do
trying
you
to
even go
imitate the.
why do you even go in that direction with the A tone now? Because I realized, if you didn't know, I don't know if you invited him, but Dr. Adakwe was around. He was sitting like two steps, so his head was
Yeah,
down when you were conducting the first bit. So immediately that the string started, his head just shot up, and like he was like kind of intrigued. And it was a very, very fascinating thing because I was like, me too. On Saturday evening, when I heard the fugue, I was like, this is very, very strange. It's a very, very strange fugue. Is it supposed to like depict sort of the mystery of things coming to being or something? It's a very, very why that choice of
exactly.
atonality?
You see, at the beginning of the yeah, at the beginning there was chaos. All those things were coming into being. Okay, like there was chaos. Okay, like the world or the earth is without form. Um, Stars are beginning to time. The building blocks of life are still forming. Others are crashing into each other, and that is why I use the tonal section to, depict
It was
that
very, very
side.
clever. It was very, very clever. I'm not going to lie. Like
Yeah,
it was very clever. I wish I could play
yeah.
it under here, but the music is copyrighted. So Charlie, if people want to hear it, you have to go and pay him to stage another to stage another one so that you hear it again. But
Yes, yes,
yeah,
we need your money. We need your money. You can
Charlie,
stage
very
another one.
necessary. Was there a trombone? Was there a trombone there?
There was a trombonist.
I didn't see him. He was playing like he was sitting there playing?
Yes.
Hey, okay. Anyway, Act One. Let's get into it. Just it's yeah, we are doing the first two. It's just two acts, so let's go through it. Now let's talk about triplets,
Yeah.
right? And I think when you said the Techiman Kete, it now makes sense why that the rhythm itself was like part of the theme. There were a lot of triplets, and is it something that is fundamental or like a foundation of the Techiman Kete rhythm? Like, is it something that comes with using that rhythm?
Okay, I think if you talk about the triplets, you are talking about the melodic line,
Yeah.
where the strings play pa ta da pa 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 pa. I don't know if
Yes.
that's what you're
Aside
talking
that,
about.
the singers, the characters, when they sing, they have lines that are in triplets as well. Uh-huh. Not necessarily in like singing an upbeat thing, but when they are even singing something that is calm, there are triplets in it. So it was like something that you used a lot.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay, okay. So,
Yeah.
so I was also looking at speech. There are times when we are speaking, there's some sort of hidden pulse in our speech, keeping tempo, but our words follow a rhythm where triplets still enter, and that is what I try to also convey.
Right.
Yes, because it's an opera. It's still speech. The most important thing is the dialogue that is sung. Though it's important, you also have to try and follow the speech. Okay.
Right. That
Yes.
makes a lot of sense. The My Heart Belongs to You.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you start writing the entire piece from page one to I think the score that you shared with me was 196 pages. Is it like a
Yeah.
chronological order thing? First, second, you went in that order.
Yes, I went in that order. I didn't compose, let's say, I didn't go and compose number 10 before coming to number one. No. Okay,
Oh, okay.
well, the number 10 was actually an independent piece on its own before I later added it to this one because it fits into the storyline well. Yes.
Yeah,
But
so
like,
we'll
I
get
mean,
to
just aside that, generally, I followed that order.
uh-huh. So um the motives. Now let's talk about the motives, like the main
Mm-hmm.
motives in it. I realized the one that I sang to you this morning, the one that I really enjoyed, pa, ta, 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 that one, oh, that is
Yeah.
one motive that the instrumentalist repeated. But then the choir
Yes.
too had a motive, the King of Kings, right? Was it an
Yeah.
intentional choice? Or can I say there are
Yeah.
two motives in the entire thing?
Yeah, so these are the two most important motives because even what the orchestra played, when the characters Isaac and Abraham were singing their duet, the motive that the orchestra played for the prelude was in that one too as well.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yes,
then I must have missed it.
yes,
Ah,
it was played by the flute and then the bass clarinet, which was supposed to actually be the bassoon, but the bassoonist wasn't available, so
oh,
so
okay.
actually, we use the alto clarinet, not the bass clarinet, the alto clarinet. Yes. Mhm.
Right, right,
So they
right,
played that motif as the duet was going on. Yeah. So the two most important things were that one, the one from the prelude, and then the King of Kings.
but how did you come up with was this intentional to create two motifs, one for choir and one for instruments? Were you telling a separate story with like the two sides, like instrumentalists were telling a story in one side and the choir was doing another thing?
I didn't have that in mind. Maybe all I can say is maybe I was possessed because that's how come I ended up writing everything within such a short period because usually when I'm in my creative element, I don't want there to be a break. As soon as a break comes, um, usually, a writer's block sets in. And when there's writer's block, it means now everything will become academic. As soon as it
Yeah.
becomes academic, the whole music will score. It won't be nice. No,
Well,
I don't. I'm not
some people
saying it
argue that
against
writing
composers.
academic music is not that bad. Some people argue.
Yes, I don't have anything against that. In fact, people write academic like in a form by which like they are following what they are taught in school and all that. It's beautiful. If you listen to James Vaikama's music, it's so beautiful. But he
I knew you were
uses
going to use that. I knew you
the
were going to use him as an example.
he uses the elements that he uses the elements that we learn in music school and all that, and he does it beautifully. You get it. But me, as an expressionist, I don't work that way. Um, if academia will say that if you have chord 6 7, you have to resolve to chord 1. I would disagree with you as an expressionist. Me 6 7, I can jump and change key, and it works.
Just
I
has to
won't
work.
resolve.
It just has to work. That's it.
Or at times, I'll that chord 6 7. I'll end the music on the chord 6 7. If you're not satisfied, you go home and then you end the music yourself.
Charlie, on chord
Yeah,
7 and 7s and things like that. Let's talk about jazz influences. But in general,
yeah,
when you look at the history of jazz itself, it definitely has roots in African music because jazz came from
yeah.
blues, and blues came from roots. Roots
Hmm.
music was the music that slaves were singing, and the slaves definitely they all came from Africa, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
what's that connection today? What's that connection that you're able to make with jazz and Afrocentrism? Because you did it in that piece, Take a Bite. Yeah, right. The one Eve,
Hmm.
yes, Take a Bite. So
Yeah.
what do you think about jazz influences and Afrocentrism? What do they have in common? Like, yeah.
Okay. So I actually covered this in my final year project work. We talked about the roots of jazz being rooted in African music. In the sense that, number one, jazz usually deals with improvisation. It usually deals with extended rhythms, extended chords, or at times, not even just that, it might not be extended, but it could be one simple chord for 10 minutes, but there's so much melody built on it. And that's
Mm,
how African music has been. If you pick a binyum, the chord changes are not much. It's just two chords. At times, it's just two chords that they are using. But they can sing a binyum for like about 30 minutes. You get it? So those were that is even African music. If you compare that to jazz, especially modal jazz, you realize that that is how linked they are. I hope you get it.
yeah.
And if you look at classic jazz, just as Take a Bite, Take a Bite follows like the classic jazz, like the
Yeah,
old
yeah.
jazz from that we know, yes. And if you take that, if you look at the way triplets are used in it and all that. In fact, African music is full of triplets, or what the academicians would say, hymiola. Uh-huh.
What?
So our music is full of it. So that's how it's the
What?
hymiola.
Imiola.
Hymiola, so
Well,
Hemiola.
well, well. I mean, I've never heard of it, but I'll take it. Himiola. I've
Yeah,
learned something new today. Himiola. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Did Disney inspire
Mhm.
Take a Bite in any way? Because it was sounding quite familiar with like some Disney tunes be like that.
Yes, so Broadway, and I also looked at the fact that you know basically all the piece. The reason why I did different genres come together is I wanted to make sure that everyone in the audience goes home satisfied. Someone doesn't like classical music, the person doesn't like African music, but the person likes Broadway stuff.
Yeah.
So the person here take a bite and was like, I love this. You get
There's
it.
a girl sitting
And
beside me
that way,
who came alive the moment Take a Bite started. I was like, she has
oh,
found her
I
thing.
see.
I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
so uh-huh. So those are some of the things, and even Mitchell herself, who sang it, she actually loves performing Broadway pieces, and that's the reason why I composed that for her. In fact, before I composed for the singers, the soloists, or let me say the cast, what I did was I looked at their characters and I looked at what I see in the biblical characters themselves.
Oh, okay.
Okay. For instance, to me, Eve is someone who is goofy. She likes playing a lot. I looked at
Okay.
my cast. Among the cast, the ladies, the one who likes playing is Mitchell. So who else will I give the how I see Eve?
I
I'll
was
give it
going
to
to I was
Mitchell.
going to come to it, but then I guess you've answered it. So you compose with some people in mind, essentially.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
That makes sense.
I don't know if you still come back, so you can talk. We can continue talking about that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I want us
maybe
to
yeah.
end the meeting and come back because Zoom our time is up. So
Okay.
end and come back and then just do and finish the second act. So let's end and come back.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So the last act, the last bit in the first act, you get an introduction of God, and she's a woman.
Yes. Yes.
Why? Why is God a woman? I mean, of course, I can just say why not. I don't have a problem with it, but it's not a conventional way.
Yeah.
God is conventionally not a woman.
Yes. A lot of people I know are not happy with that choice. Yes. But you see, like I said, I'm an expressionist. Usually, an expressionist composer is someone who will put himself at the center of the piece. It's his ideologies is presenting. Okay. Me, when I close my eyes to pray, I know people when they are praying, they picture the voice of God, a man with a bass voice, and as he's speaking, there's reverb and things. I picture God as a still voice of a woman. Okay. I'm not saying that God has XX chromosomes. I'm not saying that. But to me, yes, to me, I see his form to be that of a woman. The merciful nature. If I look at our appellations in our local languages, Gans will say Atanya Nyumo. Akans will say Onyankopon Batampa or Onyame Batampa or Batampa, a good nursing mother. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is how God is. Okay. If God had the wrath of a man, he would have everybody off this planet. It's only a woman that
Yeah.
usually loves his children. I'm not downplaying the efforts of fathers to love their children, but we associate the loving nature of parents to mothers, and that is how God is. That is what I see, and that is the reason why I decided to, again. I told you, look, God is Franklin Jima, and she's the one. Franklin Jima has this aura. Like this female boss at the workplace where everyone respects. Like if she talks, everyone is silent.
Yes.
And that's the aura that Franklin gives up. And I felt she's the best person to play God.
So
Like she
then,
won't do giddy giddy, but when she talks, you will listen.
yeah, yeah, she really has that about her, definitely. And her voice has that
Yeah,
command as well. So when she was singing,
exactly.
I was trying to see if I'll catch any pockets where I'll be like, okay, see, at this point, it could have been a male singing it so that the voice would shake the place a bit and all of that. But
Okay.
everything seemed to be in place. Like the music was specifically written for her. It was written for a high voice, and
Yeah.
it wasn't necessarily like a high voice, like a lyric soprano or but like that kind of mezzo soprano that
Uh-huh.
has the command of the
Exactly.
voice. So it was very nice to see.
Yeah.
So then a tenor can actually sing that, right? Like a tenor could have sung.
Oh yes, Eternal can also sing.
But in any case, God is a woman. Why not? Why can't God be a woman? Why not? No, because for real, if you're looking at it from the point of the fact they are writing an Afrocentric piece of work as well, then the Akan and the African influences of how African traditional religion or originally saw God and everything, it definitely
Yeah.
definitely makes sense. So people need to school
Yeah.
themselves a bit. To Act
Yeah.
Two, the second act,
Yes.
right? The second act had some of my best bits, some of my favorite bits, and not just because Kevin is an amazing singer, but the choruses were so beautiful. That's when we saw like the full extent of the choir and your
Yeah.
choral writing, and then the mashups that were given, the mashups that you, but we'll get to the mashups, but the chorus that
Mm-hmm.
caught my attention, the very first one was the Tiduma Dawuni, right? That's it. Dawumi, right?
Yeah, Tiduma Nauni.
Nawuni.
Tiduma
Okay.
Nauni.
And
Yes.
what can you explain what that piece means and why it fits the like context, why it fits the creation stories context?
Okay. So the whole song is actually Tiduma Nauni Tinte Aiko.
Hmm?
Then song Metisa Hakam. Yulemetizwo. Then O Tiduma Tisuhurami. So it simply means that Lord, give us your grace.
That's what
Guide us every day.
Dagati,
It's Dagbani.
Dagbani. Okay.
Yes. Yes. So it simply means, oh Lord, uh, grant us your grace or give us your grace. And then it also goes on to say that guide us every day. Oh Lord, we pray. That's the meaning of the song. That's all.
Yeah. So the song came
And
in
the,
when
Mhm.
the it was after Isaiah, right? And the choir was introduced.
Yes, after Isaiah. Yes. So it was, they've received the word of God that, okay, so a child is going to be born. The government is going to be on his shoulders. We are going to call him Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty, the Prince of Peace, and all that. Now to receive him, God guide us, like help us. We are in suffering times. Like we want the Messiah to come. From time to time, nations upon nation come and then they come and conquer us, they come and invade us. We need your help, guide us every day. But then Micah is coming, and then all of a sudden he receives another prophecy. That's like an answer to the prayer of the Israelites then, singing the Tiduma now. Yes, and so that's why in that part we realize that the prophet Micah is on the floor, and then it's like there's a light and all that. Then right after that, he sings his prophecy.
Oh, okay. The there are Bacchian influences that seem to follow after that, especially the Noah Atta tune. Now I have to take my flowers,
Yeah.
my tune, right? The
Ah,
when you wrote it as well, that tune also came in after it came in after Micah, right? And
yes.
in context, the what are the words of the tune saying, and how did you make it fit in a way? Did you, by the way, did you use just Jesse's words? Just by the way.
No, so for that one, the words I used were actually your words, the ones you sent me from the Catholic hymn now.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. Uh-huh. So how were you able
Yes.
to make that transition from, because you had been you done Micah's Isaiah's
Font
message, right?
was.
You've done for unto us,
Mhm.
and making that transition and then using a Bacchian influence on Handel, like because the for unto us, you basically used Handel's motifs here and there, and then you did your own thing with it,
Yes.
and then you came to something that was giving back, and it felt like a seamless transition. How did you move from that to that?
Okay. So first of all, if you pick the text, okay, the that scene is actually called nativity scene. I labeled the name of that mashup nativity. So what's happening at that point is now the Messiah has been born. Okay. Now the Israelites are remembering what was said by the prophet Isaiah that for unto us a child is born. So that's how come they sing it. But this time around, they sing an arrangement I made of handles for unto us.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the second thing is that after for unto us, okay, now they are trying to say that we've been waiting for Isaiah, you've come, and that's why the word it fits with the words that says, "Oh, you who your own father's breasts." Okay. Like the fact that it's talking about for you that your father has sent you to us. We've been waiting for you. It is through you are going to get salvation. We'll continue to, you know, believe in you. We'll continue to trust in you. And that's what the whole music is talking about. Yes. So the way I used to transition it is as soon as the phone to us was done, I just made sure that the trumpets try to play something that will bring everyone to feel that okay, it's time for the chorale. And you know that I got that inspiration from Bach. You know, Bach has a lot of pieces whereby when there's some fast music, he has a way of transitioning all of a sudden to chorale, and that's what I looked at and then I used. Yes.
Ha. Okay. Whatever you say, boss, at this point. But the exchange of the exchange at the Virgin Mystic, right? That is where some people, well, not everyone, but some people notice the repetition of the motive from the first part, Adam and Eve, to the minor, right? So the creative inspiration from that, is it coming from a personal place? Because like it's not been too long since you got married and you have your child now, right? And the it must have been similar in a certain way. Not the Virgin Mary story, of course. Your child didn't come from. Your child didn't come from.
No. If my wife had told me that story, I won't mind her.
Yes, but did it come from a personal place where you could relate to an experience like that? Like, hey, what if I had an experience like this with my wife? Would it have been a dark, like you know how dark and very scary that kind of thing can be? So was that the reason why you went all minor or something like that?
Yeah. You know, I thought about the fact that if my wife were to be in that state whereby I wasn't around when she was about to have a child, how she would feel like I thought about it all and I imagined the pain that she would be in. I don't know for whatever reason. It could be me being irresponsible, it could be me maybe dying, you know, anything can happen. So I looked at that and I'm like, okay, that would be painful. So I thought about what Mary would go to, and I'm like, you know, this music has to have a dark mood. It has to be in minor mode. For musicians, you say minor mode. Non musicians, you say it has to be dark.
And
or sad.
It must have been beautiful that your hey, Kweku, do I still have you there? Do I still have you there, Kweku? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Must have been beautiful that your wife was the one who played Mary and she understood what you were trying to say. I don't know if when you guys went home or used to go home, you give her like detailed do it this exact way or something like that because she perfectly nailed this expression.
Interestingly, we never really went through the script together. The only thing we did was just went through the music. That was all. I didn't teach her expression. My idea was that the crew the crew that was in charge of the acting, I called scribe. I knew that scribe is going to take them through the acting. I didn't want to be that person to give her acting lessons. In fact, I don't have a certificate in theater. So I didn't. And the first day when she rehearsed, she did a beautiful job. So in fact, all the acting that I saw her do is from her efforts. And of course, Scribe really did well with training the cast. Yeah.
The mashups, you just went off the rails. You just like went crazy after Act 2 started. Shortly after that, you started giving us crazy mashups here and there with We Three Kings, with some more Handel. I think there was this short you used what's the name? It's a piece in the Messiah. Oh, it was
Isn't
from
that
Glory to
chorus?
God, right? You used some excerpt
from Glory to God. Yes.
I heard it and I was like, no, this is from Glory to God. It was just short. It passed inside one. I was like, hey, cool. I've got you. How much influence did did Handel's Messiah, not just Handel's Messiah, how much influence did they have on writing this Christmas piece?
I'll say is the continuity of Handel's Messiah.
Kaish.
Um, you know,
Kaish.
oh,
Black Handel.
you know, the part one of Messiah is basically the nine lessons and carols. Just at this time around, we don't want to do nine lessons and carols. I mean, uh, Messiah has been overperformed to the point whereby people, even when it's performed, people don't want to take it seriously. So we wanted to do something new. But what inspired me is just the continuity. And that's how come. And of course, you know, he is still one of my favorite composers.
So
And
you
I
say
felt that, of course, he is my favorite composer. I
hey,
mean, there are other favorite composers too.
you have a very toxic
You know,
relationship with your favorite composer.
no, I don't. I don't. Usually, the stuff I do is just to prove to people that you can have a concert without necessarily performing Handel. I am not happy when a certain composer is overdone. I feel as if he begins to lose the spirit.
Yeah.
You get it? For example, a song like Your Grace and Mercy, one of the most beautiful Ghanaian compositions ever written. Okay. And people have overdone it, and now it loses its spirit at a point in time. Unless maybe you are meditating, you listen to it, and it speaks to you. But now you go something like I don't know, it's just the spirit of doing something over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It now becomes like a ritual and no one takes it seriously.
I
Yes,
mean,
and I'm
in
not
a
happy when that is done.
yeah, in a certain sense, people can also argue that every time you perform pieces like, say, Handel's Messiah and all these pieces that you're used to, it's someone's first time they're also hearing it, or maybe witnessing it the way you are going to perform it. So every time you do it, someone new sees it and interprets it in a different way. But maybe if after
Mm-hmm.
these 300 years that we've been singing Handel, it's maybe it's time. It's time to find something else. Handel's Messiah, maybe it's too tight.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind going somewhere, okay, and they are performing the Messiah and it's with an orchestra. Charlie, people in Ghana here are performing Messiah and you go and then it's four keyboards, five keyboards. I won't come. I want to hear an actual orchestra performing with the choir. Like you get it. Uh-huh. And that's the reason why I basically do not want to hear anyone performing Messiah in Ghana again. Because if you are going to do it with keyboards, then please I won't come. I'll
Yeah.
prefer buying plane tickets, going to maybe Germany or something where they are performing it for I'll get to hear.
Yeah, I
No
perfectly
offense to
understand what
anybody.
you're saying. Yeah, I perfectly understand. I
Yes.
see what you're saying. The
Mm-hmm.
the whole acting and the whole thing concludes with you using the King of Kings again, and a beautiful mashup with that,
Yes.
and of course the Hallelujah chorus. The you
Yes.
picked some bits of it. I think when you did the King of Kings, you did the King of Kings bit with the Hallelujah chorus, and then you ended the whole
Yeah.
thing with the coda of Hallelujah chorus. Hallelujah. That's
Yes.
yeah. So
Yes.
obviously, Handel's Messiah had a massive influence. Like, is there a back piece
Yes.
that you also say looked at and say influenced the entire body of work in a similar way Messiah did, like a back piece, maybe one of his
Um,
oratorios or something?
yeah. With Bach, I would say it's just the way he writes his chorals.
Yeah.
I when it comes to Bach's choral music, it is his chorals that speak more to me. I'm not really a fan of his, heavy anthems and all that. It's the chorals that I really resonate with.
Mm.
Uh, that the rest of his music is instrumental music that I love so much. But for his chorals, that's what inspired me to write the Noah Attat tune. Yeah.
Well, Charlie, hey, my laptop is even going off. It was amazing to witness the um Gifts for Christ concerts the way I did. Unfortunately, it was the first time I witnessed Gifts for Christ. I heard about it.
Yeah.
It was the first time I witnessed Gifts for Christ. And I was beyond overjoyed experiencing it that way. I've
Mhm.
had the experience of being with some people in high places in the choral industry this past few
Mhm.
months. But seeing choral and classical music stretch this way, it just gives me a lot of hope for the future. Like that
Yeah.
there's way. And so like yeah, keep
Mhm.
doing what you're doing and we would we would definitely want to see more from you. So yeah, those are my closing remarks, Charlie.
Yeah. And for me, I would like to give kudos to the first person is the creative director, or I'll say the creative executive director, who is Reverend Dr. Oforibu Aten, who's, of course, the idea is what brought all this to life. And also to scribe, Kobina Ansa, who wrote the scripts, he
Yo,
did a great
Kobrasa.
job to say, yeah, and then to say Joe, who happens to be the director, where he helped train the cast. Everything came to life. You are dealing with musicians. Musicians have not studied acting in university.
Mm,
Okay, they studied your, they are learning your, they are musicians basically. But he was able to bring out the talents that they did, some of them they didn't know they had. And he did a really, really great job. In fact, all the team, our sound was done by Midway. He did a beautiful job. I think altogether, this was a nice production. And in fact, to
yeah.
do a production and then have the vice president available,
Yeah, that was also an amazing. I was like,
that's
hey,
and
Charlie.
members of a diplomatic corps. Yeah, the Hungarian ambassador was around. The Israeli ambassador was around. I mean, it was a good production.
For real. I just hope that with all these big people coming to see more classical and choral events, there will be like some attention to the industry. Like they'll actually pay attention to what you are doing. But because
Yes.
they can't just come and see it once and then go and it's like, oh, something nice has happened for this one, but like nobody actually talks about it anywhere. And I don't know, it's disheartening sometimes. Disheartening
Yeah.
sometimes. But anyway, and the whole cast, the Tumi Choir, Charlie, those guys, those you
Yes, yes,
handpicked the
yeah,
best,
yeah. To me,
some of the
yeah,
best talents
yes,
in the
and also
country.
and also Akachi Orchestra too. Yeah,
Amazing guys. Jaffet. Oh, I thought Fifi would play, but I didn't see Fifi. I don't know. But
yeah.
well,
Fifi and the bassoonist Emmanuel Kuti, and then the double bassist who was also supposed to play. They are in Senegal at the moment.
oh, okay.
They are also projecting our music. They are doing a good job. They took a number of pieces there that they are trying to push Ghanaian music to as well.
That's it. That's it. That's the least we can do.
Yeah,
The least we can do is keep creating, making music, doing stuff like this, interviews, just trying to put more stuff awareness out there that hey, classical music exists in Ghana. Choral music is not just something you hear in church every Sunday that you look past. Like it's a real thing, serious
yeah.
thing. So it was great having you. Keep doing what you're doing. I hope you
Thank
create
you.
we are going to create a banger in the future. That thing we talked about is cooking. Is cooking.
Yes.
God put something in my
Please,
head
it
this
has to
morning.
be soon. Oh. After
It
this
will
call, we
come.
are going to talk about it. Yes.
It will come. So we'll do amazing stuff, Charlie. Keep creating, and we'll talk soon.
Sure.
We'll talk soon. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, thank you too. Yeah. Okay, bye.